I've dated a lot of people in my life, and most of those people that I've dated have been white women. So I want to talk about that. Over the past month and a half, I've been having a lot of private, intimate conversations with friends, family, and mental health professionals. I love these private conversations with my friends and family because they're not trying to validate me. They are trying to legit make me a better person for the future. And I really appreciate that because, man, they do not hold back. And one of the most popular conversations that I have, especially with people that are my family, is when it gets brought up that most of the people that I've dated in my life have been white women. And I've been racking my brain as to why that's the case. Let's be real for a second. Black and brown women are the most oppressed, marginalized people on the face of this planet. When I was growing up, I saw firsthand how tough it was for my mother and for my sister to just live their life as a black woman. And in real life, as I watched my mom and my sister and my cousins and my aunts as black women struggle, I turn on the TV, I go watch a movie, and we see white women, and white women tend to be the symbol of success. And this is nothing new. You see, when we were slaves, we weren't allowed to interact with any of the white women in that house, let alone look at them. There was no eye contact with white women. We had to literally put our heads down because we were not on the same level as white women. So we have literally gone generations being told either deliberately or subliminally that white women are the status of success in the world. I can't speak for every black man in the world, but I can speak for me. I know that growing up, it was subliminally drilled into my head that white women were success. So when a black man gets the opportunity to be with a white woman, that means that he's successful. Once again, I'm not saying that's every black man, but I do know that whenever we talk about interracial relationships, specifically when it's a black man and a white woman, there's a stigma to it, let's be real. Obviously, true love has no preference when it comes to dating, but we would be ignorant if we didn't acknowledge the dynamics between a black man dating a white woman. I want to share with you a few things that I believed I've learned through interracial dating, things that people probably don't normally talk about. I realized that I've been afraid to celebrate my blackness around white women because I feel like that would make them uncomfortable. I've always had to be very careful about how I approach disagreements because my passion comes across as anger a lot of the times when I'm not angry. I'm just very passionate. And to be honest, my passion has scared some of the people that I've dated. So I just tend to just shut my mouth and just let things happen. I realized that I mask a lot when I'm in a relationship with a white woman. While dating a white woman, I realized that I had to mask and I had to code switch because I had to protect myself because I knew that if something were to go wrong, I would never have the benefit of the doubt. People would naturally believe that other person no matter what. And here's the really interesting thing I realized. I realized that the people that I've dated probably didn't even realize that I'm masking and that I'm code switching to protect myself and also to make them feel safe. I don't think they realize that. And it's something that I had to think about every single day. Anytime there was any sort of disagreement, I would always have to have this conversation in my head saying to myself, okay, Kai, be careful because if something were to go wrong, this can easily be twisted. If you were to ask any of the people that I've dated in my life how often they thought about the fact that they were dating a black man, would be very curious to know what their answer is. Over the past month, I've actually reached out to people that I've dated because I've wanted to learn some of these things. I wanted to know what it was like for them. I've had some really great, insightful, mind-opening conversations, but one of the things that doesn't come up in these conversations that I have is race. Which is funny because that's the first thing that I think about. I would try not to. Honestly, I really would try not to because I would say to myself, once again, love doesn't have a preference. If it's true love, it doesn't matter who the other person is on the other side. Most days I would be fine. I would think that to myself. But then some days, especially when we would have a disagreement, that would just automatically pop back up into my head. And I'm pretty sure you all can understand why. While in interracial relationships, I've realized that with a lot of them, when I go into the relationship, I focus more on trying to be the person that they want me to be, as opposed to just me being me and them being them and us just finding a way to gel. There's a lot of negative stereotypes out there about black men, and I was working so hard to make sure that my girlfriends did not get to witness any of those stereotypes. So I would do everything in my power to try to be what they needed, what they wanted. Every single last one of those relationships failed, and instead of placing blame, I knew that I had to look at my role in that failure. It's on me because I truly wanted to be a person that made them feel comfortable and made them feel safe and not be scary black man. And let's be real, there's a lot of people out there that use the scary black man visual in order to find a way to get an advantage in a conversation. Not everybody, but we all know that there's people out there that use that. At that point, they've already done their damage, so they don't care what happens next. And people who know how to use that effectively will always win, no matter what. These are the things that I have to think about when I'm dating somebody who is white. Does that mean that any of my ex-girlfriends are racist? Absolutely not. Nothing that I'm talking about today should be viewed as blaming or an excuse. Does that excuse times in relationships where I messed up? Absolutely not. But it's really important for people to understand nuance, context, and perspective. So I'm going to end this video by talking about what I'm going to do. Outside of the conversation about being in an interracial relationship of its own, there's a lot of things that I need to work on as a person. Not only do I know a lot of my faults, but I discover new ones every single day. And that's one of the benefits of using your time to focus on self-awareness and self-reflection. Because never again am I going to go into a relationship not knowing who I am. Never again am I going to go into a relationship not being proud of who I am. I don't want my partner to be afraid of me. I don't, but I can't help the color of my skin. I can help my communication issues because Lord knows I don't know how to communicate. Well, now that I think about it, it's not that I don't know how to communicate. It's that I'm afraid to communicate for a variety of reasons. I think that's another video for another day because I'm still trying to figure that one out. It doesn't matter who I date after this, no matter what color of their skin, I need to learn how to communicate how I'm feeling about certain situations without being afraid that I'm scaring them or that I'm making them feel unsafe. I need to be able to express my true self without being afraid of what their reaction is going to be. I also need to work on my subliminal biases against black and brown women. I would be remiss if I did not sit here and admit that. On the surface level, obviously I say to myself, no, I would date anybody. I don't care what color skin you are. I would date you. It doesn't matter. There is a conversation that I need to have with myself. I need to be real with myself about the cultural biases that I have in my head, which I don't fully understand because I truly do believe that black and brown is beautiful. Ultimately, I need to have honest conversations with myself so I fully understand why I am the way I am and how I can improve and how I can be a better person. Because I know that I'm a good person, and let me tell you, there's been a lot of times that I've questioned that. And I don't want to do that anymore. I cannot stress to you enough how much it warms my heart when I see somebody smiling, when I hear somebody laughing. It is honestly the best feeling in the entire world. And I need to learn how to continue to tap into that and pour that glass of water or whatever liquid it is into my own little pitcher because I can't be pouring from an empty glass. Listen, breakups are no fun. It fucking sucks. But there is nothing better than growth. Nothing. There is nothing better than having this renewed focus on wanting to grow and to learn and to be better. And all of that comes down to understanding myself and understanding why I date certain people, why I make certain decisions. I need to understand all of that. And this growth period of mine right now, I'm really excited for it. I mean, it's scary, but I'm really excited for it. I'm excited because despite what some people may say, I don't love myself. I have been through periods, especially recently, where I hate me so much. I hated me. I hated my blackness. No more. I've dated a lot.